30 years ago, the working class boys who made good by doing bad drove machines of equally humble origin, but with the same devilish streak. But there was one car in particular that charmed the glitterati and impressed the East End firms like no other legend. The Lotus Cortina. Its origin was innocent enough though. Colin Chapman's Lotus was asked to shake off the Cortina's fusty family image. In went some trick suspension and the famous twin-cam engine, and the fast Ford was born. As a saloon car racer, it was unrivaled, sweeping to victories all over the world. But it was the swinging style of Jim Clark which caught the imagination of most. The opposition simply couldn't compete. They crashed, they spun, and crashed again. All in a bid to keep up with the heroic Brit. Jim Clark made it famous, but another man made it notorious. 1963 wasn't just the year the Lotus Cortina was launched. It was the year of the Great Train Robbery, the largest and most audacious crime Britain has ever seen. With military precision, 17 men stole the equivalent of £40 million from the Glasgow to Euston mail train. The man who masterminded the job, Raymond Ettridge, alias George Rachel, alias Keith Miller, alias Bruce Reynolds, was sentenced to 25 years.
It's a very attractive car, but it's quite plain. And it certainly didn't cause any attention. Obviously, there's certain things when you're practicing thief, let's say, that you don't want to arouse suspicion. Most people thought it was just a bog standard Cortina. I'd always been mindful of the old train robber Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, you know. He always espoused the thing that you always have the best horse flesh you can.
Right.
This had the best horsepower that I could get at the time. It was bought for the train robbery. I used it most nights when I went up there for reconnaissance purposes. Beautiful territory for driving around, you know, it's the Chilterns.
Yeah, it's a lovely place.
And I had overnight vigils on the trackside, and I used to park it up 3 fields away. I had a camouflage netting, we used to peg out over it. I had some really great drives coming home because obviously the train came in to Leighton Buzzard just after 3 o'clock. And I'd sort of leave there about 4 o'clock. Of course, it was a good blast from coming back down via High Wycombe to, I was living at Putney at the time, and I did it in an hour one night.
Really?
Quite hairy, yeah.
No speed cameras around then?
No. I mean, that's what might be termed the good old days for sporting motorists. Brilliant car, and of course, it's quite unique in so much it's only done 3,000 miles.
There's a good reason for that, though, isn't there?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically it was confiscated by the police, who held it for virtually, I think, the 5 years that I was on the run. And then, of course, when I was arrested, I signed it over to them as some sort of reparation. They, in turn, put it in an auction where it was bought by Colin Chapman, the very guy who designed it.
0 to 60 in 9.9 seconds might not sound like it could dust the 5.0 nowadays, but back in the 60s, it felt like a rocket ship. Like all Lotuses, even today, the Cortina isn't just about raw power, it's about handling. And this car feels like it's bristling to be put through its paces. You know, I'm constantly amazed by old cars. This one still feels really fresh. It feels tight and tidy, the handling is absolutely spot on. And it makes you feel a little bit devious. I think I've got a tail.